Are more Republican or Democrat buying in this market? What delay first time and repeat buyer purchasing decision?
And then the Atlanta metro area is now considered to be a buyer's market. So is it better to buy or rent? We'll break that down. And so this is the Max One Market Update. My name's Alan Richardson. I'm the managing broker and member of the team here.
My name is Ming Richardson. I'm the compliance broker.
And so we want to kind of get right into uh, all the things happening inside the Atlanta market as far as buying and selling. One of the big things that's happened post election is that there's a lot of talk about, Republican, Democrat, who's glad about the election, who's sad about the election, all that kind of stuff. And there's an interesting stat out there that says, 1 in 5 Republicans are more likely to purchase a home versus 16% less Democrats are more like or less likely to purchase a home. And we just want to be real honest that housing is not politically motivated. It can definitely impact your feelings about buying and selling a home. And I'm not saying that people don't have deep feelings about political affiliations and that kind of stuff. But when you talk about home ownership, you have to understand that home ownership is really about, like this is your home. And are you going to be willing to make an investment in your home and yourself as well as in your personal finances? Because, owning a home is the number one source of wealth in the United States. And to say, you know what, I'm going to put off growing wealth because a Republican or a Democrat is in office, that's kind of short-term thinking here, and that's not really what it comes down to. We have been in the real estate business for a long time, and we've been under Republican and Democrat presidents, and honestly, they have not impacted our business. They haven't impacted our buying decisions. When we
No,
personally
it's
bought
about
homes.
timing and about, what we found out right now is a lot of people want to be closer friends and family. So that probably will more impact their decision about buying and selling.
Yeah, don't let. I guess what we're really saying is, don't let the election be the reason.
Or the political affiliation.
Yeah, because folks really do have a reason for like when you look at why do people delay a purchase of a home? Because let me first state that it's not, for most people, it's not about I don't want to own. It's about when can I own.
Right.
And
It's
so
about getting the financing lined up to where they're
yeah.
able to purchase.
And so, for the number one reason why the average American delays buying a home is because of their personal financial situation. Like it's a very personal issue. It's
Is.
not political, right? And so and so getting your own personal financial house in order. That's for most people still one of the largest reasons. Now,
And a lot of folks honestly don't understand how to get there. So if you're interested, please reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to educate, if not, host a first time buyer seminar.
or put you with a lender,
Sure.
because you got to understand that lenders like they only get paid when they help you buy a home. So it behooves them to help you get your financial house in order. So if you have any kind of questions, talk to that lender now. We're not big fans of a lot of credit repair because there's a lot of stuff that goes on out there in the credit repair world, and having that lender who is not
And to
financially
guide
motivated to
you.
do that is a really big deal. Now, the number two reason why somebody delays a home purchase is because interest rates are still high, and
Absolutely.
we know that they aren't where we want them to be, but they are moving forward. We're going to continue to see interest rates drop and decline and reduce as we go along. Don't wait to talk to those lenders until rates drop. You want to start looking. You want to start engaging with those folks now. The third and most popular reason why someone delays is because of lack of affordable homes.
The inventory is not where the price point needs to be for the first time home buyer to purchase.
Well, but you have to understand that like no like everyone, there's a lot of folks who kind of lament that, look, I wish home prices will go down.
Mhm.
Well, we've been in markets where home prices went down, and I promise nobody wants to buy when home prices are going down. Who wants to buy
It's
an asset
investors.
that oh gosh, I bet if I buy this home, it's going to be worth less next year. No one wants to buy a home then. Now, first of all, we're not seeing that. We're not seeing it. What we're seeing is very modest property value appreciation, somewhere in the 3 to 5% range on property value appreciation. It's not the double digit growth that we saw post COVID kind of thing that really kind of is going on in our marketplace. But like that real modest appreciation, that's where wealth is really coming from. If you look at, for the last 50 years, real estate has appreciated on average 4.4% a year. And so you own a home for 10 years, you just appreciated 44%.
Correct.
That's a really big impact there.
Not only that, you're also paying down your mortgage, so your debt is less than what you bought it for.
Yep. So, when you, excuse me, when you break down, that personal financial situation, you actually find that more renters delay renting than buyers delay buying, because it's about, I can promise you that renting a home right now, in a lot of cases, is tougher than actually buying, right?
Yes.
A lot of landlords are going to make you jump through hoops and that kind of stuff. Now, of course, your homeowners are way more concerned with interest rates than renters could care less about interest rates and what's going on. But that affordability issue is still a big deal, because even as a renter, affordability impacts renters the same way, because the rental rate is based on the value of the property. The same as, so renters don't really make out ahead. In addition, renters are also paying for that landlord's mortgage, plus so they're paying down somebody else's mortgage, and they're making money for them.
Interest.
Yeah. So, just understand that, for our first time buyers, the biggest issue tends to be their personal financial situation. Repeat buyers, not so much, but first time buyers, that's probably the big deal. Now, what's interesting is, for our first time buyers, interest rates are not nearly as big of a deal to them.
As the folks are repeating buyer, because some of the repeat buyer had those incredible rates during pandemic. So therefore they're looking at that like, no.
And we don't see those rates coming back. We really don't. Those were artificial rates that were stimulated by the government, and that was just a different time. So there's a new report out right now from Zillow where they're marking out what are the metros that are considered to be buyers markets. And so previously there was 13. Now there's about 50 different markets that are considered to be buyers market. And as of this new one, the 13 major markets, Atlanta is now on the list, in the Atlanta metro area. And so I guess what we want to chat about real quickly is, even though you read things about Atlanta is moving into a buyer's market, there's a lot of things that go into impact what is a buyer's market, what is a flat market, what is a seller's market.
And it's all location. Even though in Atlanta itself, there's certain area in Atlanta maybe still a seller's market, and certain area maybe more lean toward a buyer's market. So even just the geographic area of Atlanta, there are some differences.
Yeah. Buying a home in Sandy Springs versus in Griffin is not good. Those are not similar markets at all. In addition, price point has a lot to go with it. If you're trying to buy entry-level first-time buyer homes, properties under 200,000, under 250, those tend to be a little bit tighter as far as we have less inventory, those kind of things going on. Whereas if you're buying homes over 800,000, we got a lot more $800,000 homes out there, and so and we have more sellers at some higher price points than we have buyers. And so overall, we may be showing as being a buyer's market, but that still doesn't mean that the buyers hold all the cards. We're barely into a buyer's market. And so having that real estate professional that you trust that can help guide you and assist you through this whole process, it's really crucial to help guide you through there, because your buyer's agents, they're going to be there to try and help you get the absolute best deal. But we also like there's a point where you can get such a great deal that the seller's not going to sell, right? You can ask for the world, but that doesn't mean the seller's going to give their home away. And so understanding those differences and where you can push, where to ask for, and that kind of stuff, that's where having that real estate professional is going to be a real big advantage for you. The other thing that we see kind of going on, just that we just kind of want to wrap up here is, buying versus renting. Should you buy? Should you rent? This is a question that we get asked a lot. I mean, just a whole lot. And first of all, understand this is a very personal decision, very personal question for you to ask yourself. So there are differences out there. Right now, owning a home or buying a home is more expensive than renting a home. It is. We've seen rental rates going down just because there's been, and what I'm talking about here is not renting a single family home, but renting an apartment. Single family rentals, those are not going down because those are based on property values. But for like renting an apartment versus buying a home, we're seeing where those rental rates have gone down. Whereas property values have continued to appreciate at a much more modest pace, but still it's appreciating out there. And so is it more expensive to buy than it is to rent? Yeah, it sure is.
In a long term, it will be. It's like any investment, okay? The younger you start, the more asset you have. The later you start, you may not have a whole lot.
But in the long term, it's going to work out way better to your advantage because
it is legacy creation for you and your family.
I mean, when you own a home, you change the dynamics. I mean, wealth in the United States is tied up in home ownership. In addition to that, you are protected from inflationary factors, right? You have most folks have a fixed rate mortgage.
Right.
That means that they know what what their mortgage payments are going to be. As you pay off your mortgage, you gain more equity. Plus, you see property value appreciation as you go along. That doesn't mean that it's always right because there is a time when renting is right. And so if you're not going to be in a home for 3, 4, 5 years, then rent. You really like you have to be there long enough to make that appreciation up. There's a lot of expenses that you have to overcome when you first buy a home. And if you're only going to be there for a year or less, well then
it makes sense to rent because you're not there for a long term.
Yeah, I mean, like you're just not going to see that. I mean, on average, we're talking about 4.4% appreciation, and when you look at how much money you have to put down, and then
the closing costs,
realtors fees,
else.
all those kind of things. I mean, all those are real expenses on here. Also, if you need the flexibility of renting, some folks, especially when they first move to an area, they don't know that much about the area. They may want, maybe renting is the right choice for you there if you don't know exactly where you want to be. But again, you're not going to build that equity, right? When you are a homeowner, like if you look at just like overall Americans' happiness scale, homeowners way happier than renters. Right. Divorce is lower in homeowners. Wealth creation is better for homeowners. So there's so many factors that really just do that. Plus, at the end of the day, when you say, why do people want to own a home? The number one reason why people want to own a home is because they want it. They want a place that's theirs where they can sit around in their underwear and watch TV if they so choose, right? It's their place. It's true. It's absolutely true. And so you just have to understand that's a really big deal. And we have to understand that, at some point for you, it's going to be the right time. And so we would love to be able to help you. So you can call, text, send smoke signals. We don't really care here. So
please visit us at MaximumPartner.com or call us our main line at 678-782-5050 and ask for the Maximum team.
Or you can email us at team@MaximumPartners.com. Any and all of those, we'd love to help you out. Have a great week.
Thank you.